morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome along to episode, 64, there we go, I totally remembered, of the Sofamanager Scottish Football Podcast. And on an action-packed show this week, we'll be talking about Carnival de Paris and why it's relevant again for the Women's World Cup. Next year, some exciting international Scotland news, so we'll hold on to that tightly. I'll also be talking about seeing my first World Cup game. Not World Cup, sorry.
International game.
Yep, international game, getting way ahead of myself.
Far too far ahead.
Way too far ahead. First ever international game, seeing some of the best players in the world. Sadly, they were playing Scotland, so we'll be discussing that, as well as the ticket price scandal that's going to come out this week. We'll also be talking about the Poor Man's Champions League, which is, of course, the Iron Brew Challenge Cup, and all that happened there this week, and the depressing Welsh drubbing that was paid for us Falkirk fans at the weekend. And we'll be rounding off with our Dummies Guide to the Nations League, as published by our very own Chardonnay expert.
Chardonnay pinching, maybe.
Chardonnay pinching. You had fun at the staff night out.
That was
John,
good fun.
Is that the first bottle of Chardonnay you've pinched before?
Probably not.
I don't think I've ever tasted Chardonnay, truth be told. Certainly not at a football ground anywhere near. So he's written a great article on the Sofamanager.com website, which is now back.
Yes, it's fixed.
After technical difficulties. We're thinking what some Inverness fans maybe hacked us.
There was no stand.
North Star Rising. Some rival Scottish Instagram account we think's taking control. So yeah, we'll be discussing that. Anyway, along with our Chardonnay expert John, I'm of course your other pundit and tin pot announcer Paul. So let's crack straight on with things, shall we? So, topic 1. Carnival de Paris is back and relevant again.
Daddy OG.
Oh, crying song.
Even though he's missing, really. But
is he missing? Oh, yeah, no, Darren. Yeah, sadly couldn't make it tonight. He's recovering from the Scotland game on Friday. It's a shame, and there's some tales to tell from that. So, yeah, Scottish woman. An awkward time in the week, kind of like 4 o'clock, confirmed that they were qualified.
Just watching the updates and the sort of the work. So.
Aye. Funny thing about that was like the news reporting after, a lot of them were using like mobile phone videos of the game, and perhaps didn't realise that it was on BBC Alba. And you were like, what
are you doing?
Why are you using that instead? So, it's how well published this game was. But after that frustrating game against the Swiss, I remember watching that the same night I was watching, I think, Burnley try to get through Olympiacos. Both fantastically frustrating games.
Aye.
But they are, in fact, through to their first ever World Cup.
Aye, and fantastic.
It's very exciting.
It's well merited, though, as well. They've done fantastically well.
Well, the fact was they've won 7 out of 8 games or something like that?
Near enough, aye, and quite comprehensively as well. The Albania performance, especially if you watch the highlights, their keeper pulls off maybe 8 or 9 absolute world-class saves.
Aye.
It keeps the score down, and that's the kind of level that we're now at. I think we're pushing into the top 20 in the world.
Cracking.
Which is unbelievable. I had actually a wee look. I don't know huge about women's football, so I'll get that out of the road.
No, you're a regional expert. You've been to 3 games this season.
Yeah, I think I've been to more Buttermere Thistle games than I have been to maybe Falkirk games this
season. With your zoom lens camera as well, no doubt.
Well, no go there. Of course they'll batter me.
Yeah, I wouldn't take on a women's football, that's for sure.
But they're narrowly ahead of Austria and Belgium, funnily enough.
Really?
So
lol.
You can see where they're, what direction Belgians are being interested.
There you go.
Sexists.
Far too focused on the men.
And we're only just behind New Zealand and Iceland.
Well, that's pretty good,
Which is really quite good. I think Iceland are sort of one of the better teams as well.
Well, New Zealand, quite an athletic nation.
Aye, they take sport really serious. I think you're a long way off your kind of the USA and England.
Oh yeah.
In terms of actually breaking into that kind of scope, but it's a work in progress and it's pretty good.
Well, that's the thing, I think registration of women footballers has like doubled and trebled.
It's good entertainment. It really is.
I mean, I've obviously done well. Let's not dwell too much on the Belarus game that I was producing. That's probably why they didn't perform that well that game. It was the only blip on their radar. But aye, good entertainment. It's dirt cheap. Like, the game against Switzerland, I think, was a £5 at Paisley. So it's one of these things that if you live local...
Oh, it's fantastic. I wouldn't necessarily travel yet to go and watch it, but...
Well, yeah. I think, if it is your thing, then, cracking. But yeah, otherwise, I think just coming from locally, it makes... It's just like the under-21 games and things.
Pretty much. It's the same principle at the moment. But I think there's scope for it to really take on, especially with it being...
Oh.
It's bigger and bigger profiling as well.
The ultras culture at these games, John.
Oh, huge.
The girls, I swear, are like they're bigger nutters than the men. Did you see they were celebrating after the game?
No.
Like, they're off their heat. Shelley Kerr trying to conduct a respectable interview. Just creamed with like the juice of the day and stuff like that. And they're bouncing about the changing room shouting, and I'm like, you make Rangers or Celtic winning a title look tame. It looks like a tea party by comparison to what they're doing.
The poor Albanian janitor.
I know, well, quite possibly. So no, good on them. I've always enjoyed watching women's football when I've seen it, in Falkirk. Still a big champion of Lizzie Arnott, who now plays with Man United. I think a few girls went down to Arsenal, and Hibernian just gone full time up here, I believe.
Yeah, one or two of the sort of bigger names went up here. Went down to Man United, who subsequently won 12-0.
With that top Scots talent, you see, John.
I'd beat Aston Villa 12-0.
There you go.
First ever league game for them as well.
That's good.
But it just shows you their interest in it now as well. They are taking it really serious.
Who
they're in England.
I know.
It's bigger and bigger. I mean, the Man City Academy is pretty much combined with the men's team now. I don't think Carrington's that far away with Man United.
Probably not.
Arsenal ladies and Chelsea ladies are absolutely superb. So it's quite interesting to see how that's developing, because there's money beginning to generate in England, not up here.
No,
but it's a...
Well, that first game for Man United, I forget what stadium it was played at. It was one of the smaller grounds in Manchester, but a lot of people, a few hundred, nearly 1,000, I think, turned up to see that, and we are getting thousands at cup finals and things now. Whereas before, it was on telly the same night as the Scotland-Belgium game. Hibernian versus Forfar Farmington. I'm amazed that they're able to put together a women's team in Forfar, but they're actually pretty handy. I don't know what the final score of that was. So it's growing slowly but surely.
Aye, it's good. It's a good watch.
Aye, I've always been a fan of. I wish they would combine these sort of match days a bit more. So if your team happens to play on Astro, put the women's team on. Maybe 45 minutes ahead of kickoff or something like that. Try and entice people along for a kind of double header sort of thing.
You're just mixing it. In fact, that probably undermines the women's game.
Well,
doing that.
Yeah, if you're wanting to generate edge, it's maybe an idea. But no, I see your point. But very exciting. At the time it happened, I was convinced I was going to Paris or France, because I was like, I may never see the men's team go to a World Cup.
It doesn't appeal to that extent for me, but
if you took it seriously enough,
I probably wouldn't even go to France if Scotland's like the men's national team.
Really?
Nah, I wouldn't. That doesn't appeal.
Really?
Nah.
No, why?
I've no interest in the Scotland national team.
But it's a festival of football, though, John. It's your...
Don't care. It's
the dream.
It's just commercialised nonsense.
But can you not imagine, bunging all your mates in a car or a train,
no, it's just
getting punched in the face by some Russian thug, and then
miserable.
No. Well, I don't know. I like the idea of it, but then the Women's World Cup obviously is not going to be the same as the Men's World Cup. Other fan zones and stuff. You see all the big stadiums. It would be a slightly more timid affair.
No, but it'll be more low key. I wouldn't say it was timid. It'll be the same atmosphere, the same kind of passion about it all. But you're not going to have the same kind of crowds. That's an absolute given.
Aye.
I don't know if they're necessarily playing them either. I don't know if it's all in and around Paris or if they're going around down to Marseille.
I would presume, they would do some kind of secondary sort of cities, so still like big stadiums and stuff like that, but
because they did it in the Netherlands for the Euros, Euro 2017, and they went all round. But most of it was based in Utrecht and Heerenveen and stuff, so
a relatively compact country in comparison as well, isn't it?
I mean, you're not going to be like looking to get like the Parc des Princes open or the Stade de France.
Well, maybe for the final. I don't know, actually.
Maybe the Parc des Princes for the final, 40 or 1,000, but it won't be full, put it that
way.
But
well,
it'll be interesting to see what kind of level they place it at.
Yes.
I think.
Funny thing is, though, it will be shown on BBC Alba. their World Cup games, was I think a huge broadcasting step up for them.
Well, pretty much.
I do not know, because there's no international shinty to be shown anytime soon.
I'm just waiting on like Richard Gordon, Chick Young, just hijacking it. Like.
Well, I know that like for cost-cutting measures, a lot of the BBC staff had to start learning Gaelic. Like Jackie Burt apparently was very good at learning Gaelic. So perhaps
there's scope. Yeah,
yeah. Get the football. You imagine Michael Stewart's droll tones and a hula hala sort of really.
Him and Stephen Thompson going at it with what's his name, Jonathan Sutherland.
I think he might
speak kind of Chukter accent.
Oh, he's got the Invernessian sort of.
It's miserable.
They're like the wee BBC Dream Team. They managed to get themselves. You seen the new studio they were using for?
How did they manage that though?
I don't
Out of nowhere.
They're doing a good job. Like I know Stephen Thompson and that put a lot of effort into social media, like Facebook live streams and stuff. And they must be seen as the Dream Boys. I don't know how Michael Stewart fits into anything, but
he's an okay pundit.
I don't mind him. But
the three of them actually work quite well. But it's bizarre how it's those three out of everyone that's kind of played Scottish football.
I think they must have huddled together and we're cutting out Richard Gordon, Chick Young and I think McLean and stuff like that. So by the by, we're not complaining. So if anyone does want to join me on a trip to France next year, give us a comment. We'll organise a minibus or a bus. Who knows? Anyone know of a good coach company anymore? We don't really do that anymore.
Parker Hamilton.
What? Parker Hamilton? No, we don't want any affiliation with Hamilton, of course, John. But elsewhere, the men's team, as we were saying earlier, and us rising above Belgium in the women's ranks, they were playing the men's Belgian team. You might have seen on the Sofamanager Instagram that myself and the ghost of Darren.
The ghost that was Darren.
Exactly. I'm sure he'll be back soon. Went to the game. Last minute, I've got to say, a couple of days before, and I was shocked that it was pay at the gate for us.
It's actually pay at the gate. Oh,
it wasn't pay at the gate. You went to a hut to buy your tickets outside the stadium, but which is essentially pay at the gate.
Why not just do pay at the gate?
Well, I don't know. Well, you couldn't because of the allocation stuff like that. Anyway,
nonsense.
I'll go through the game first before we get to all that.
Okay.
For me, a brilliant experience. As my first Scotland game, I was there to see world class players, and that's what I got to see. I thought positives in the first half. I thought if we hadn't conceded that stupid goal, it would have been deemed a success. Now, how hard Belgium were trying in that half, I don't know. Maybe that was a sighter to kind of see where they could break us down, because they did within 30 seconds of the second half. And I must admit, people moaning about Craig Gordon for the first Hazard goal, I would have to disagree, because he's thunderbolted it into the back of the net, and being sat behind it, he hit it so hard, unmarked from such a close range. And I must say, after watching total drivel football for the last 3-4 months, it was really refreshing to see folk like Hazard, with the ball, it's glued to his feet. And I honestly don't understand how he does it. But then you see folk like Moussa Dembele, who's he's so unbelievable, tracking back, getting the challenges in. Another level. I must admit, someone like Lukaku, I thought was pretty shocking.
Bog standard for him though. He's in that kind of form.
This £100 million guy, he's sometimes good for Man United, sometimes he's not.
I mean, I seen him for Man United against Newcastle last season. Wasn't great.
I thought his ball control was really bad.
He's like watching Dylan Mackin. If you're a Falkirk fan, you'll understand.
It depends if you're watching him in the reserves of the first team.
Ball just ricochets everywhere. Crazy.
There you go. Lukaku.
£100 million man.
Lukaku is the Championship's equivalent of Dylan Mackin. But see when Batshuayi came on for him second half,
he looks like a class act, and he's developed really well since he went to Dortmund. Really well.
Well, I was saying, he maybe only plays well in yellow and black. Could be thing. But his first touch, his movement, his pace. He got bagged a couple of goals as well, one which Gordon should have maybe done a bit better with. But it's amazing that someone like him hasn't broken through at Chelsea. Why?
Because he was such a good player. When you've got Hazard, I mean, come on.
But you're telling me he's better than someone like Maratta, I don't
different type of player. But, I get your point about you did go and see a world class team, and it was the second ranked in the world.
Yes.
World Cup semi-finalist, third place in the World Cup.
Yeah.
So
a World Cup semi-finalist.
Did it justify £35?
Well,
No.
The thing was, I knew what I was paying for. I was paying to see Belgium. I was paying for a spanking, essentially, you know. And
you can get that cheaper elsewhere.
well, it's a bad choice of words. I knew that they were going to get drubbed. You know, I kind of went in knowing that. And it's funny, because the Scotland setups, you know, there's some people that just purely support Scotland. And there was a lot of people very angry about the performance that was put in.
Aye.
And £35, 17,000 people turned up. And I believe the pricing's the same for the Albania game tonight. I think so. Which is... it's abhorrent, frankly.
That's shocking.
The thing for me, the way I've justified it in kind of social media, and we've had, you know, a lot of comments about a lot of people have fallen out of love with the Scottish national team, particularly people of our sort of generation.
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Well,
I'm quite honest, I couldn't care less.
And a lot of people have the same, you know, thoughts. And it was funny on the train back, you know, there's a lot of drunk guys just kind of shooting the breeze and stuff like that. And there's a wee boy from Inverness, you know, nice and so he's turning away to the dad. They're staying in Edinburgh for the night. Oh, you know, how was the game? And he's like, this is my first ever Scotland game. And they're like, oh no, this is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, it's better than this, son. It's better than this. His dad was like, yeah, I haven't been since like 1977. He's like, oh, he won't be back for another 20 years.
Exactly, aye.
But they were asking the wee boy, oh, well then, you know, who was your favourite Scotland player? He's like, Scotland?
Who?
he was there for Lukaku. And you're going, you know that?
That's true though.
That sums it up. The passion's gone. One point I argued was that pricing is a relic of a much better Scottish international team than what is in front of us now. It's
overinflated, and this is the thing that I've been thinking about it quite a lot over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If you had priced that at £20 for an adult, tenner for a concession,
I think it was tenner for a concession anyway.
Would you have got more of a crowd? Do you reckon? Maybe marginally, right?
I don't know.
So what's the incentive for the SFA to make the price £20 when they can charge £35 and know that they're going to get 17,000 folk through the gate? If you put it as 20 quid, say, you may only get maybe another 3,000 on the gate. That won't cover the difference between the two prices.
Lose your money,
and I can understand why they do it. It's disgraceful and it's a slap in the face, but in a purely money-making circumstance, you know, it's take advantage time.
That's the thing, you know, is do you milk the people you know you're going to get?
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing.
For me, that makes sense for Belgium, because like, are you telling me you can pay £35 a week to watch Hazard, company, you know, Money and co?
Well, you can though. You can just go down to England. You can go down to Newcastle every week and watch who they're playing.
35 quid is about what you would pay for like a Man City, a Chelsea, maybe not a Newcastle United.
Newcastle's anywhere between £20 and £35. So
it's about the same.
And that's to watch Man United, Man City, Tottenham, whoever comes up the road.
There on
the day. I mean, you are going to end up, I'm going to see them play Leicester in a couple of weeks. But I'm still going down to see watch a Premier League game for £25.
Exactly. Is it of a Premier League standard?
Absolutely not.
Well, see, the point I made to Ghost Darren as we were sitting there, you know, how many Premier League, these are Championship players. As I now think about it, you know, Armstrong, McDonald, Robertson, there are actually quite a few Premier League players in that side.
Bottom half, Ryan Fraser as well.
Ryan Fraser. Oh, he was totally wasted, by the way.
Aye.
As a freaking wing, like 2 or 3 times, wide open. The only boy that got in about 2 shots, totally wasted.
Formation was a bit of a disaster.
Well, people, again, a lot of comments on the social media, like I think at Celtic Community was one of them, with a lot of comments saying, you know, McLeish is just a dud of a manager, you know. He'd been out of a job for 8-9 years when he got the Scotland gig. But then, you know, it's a very transitional phase. Actually, do they know what they're doing? We don't know where we're going to be playing. We don't know.
It's all just a mess. It's one of these kind of things where you just kind of want to go, just turn off the lights, lads, and
well, again,
forget about it. You know,
a few of the points I will name check you. Don't worry, on the Instagram as well, was about, you know, that's the sort of game that could have been taken on tour.
Yes, and this is one of the big kind of arguments now. Is we should be doing that by all accounts. And I know it kind of boils down to where do you play a cup final, semi-final, but that's what Murrayfield's there for.
Well,
and I know it's not ideal, but I would much have rather seen Scotland play Belgium at Easter Road or take up to Aberdeen, although I don't know how Belgium would feel about it.
Well, they did it with Holland.
That's true.
You still get a flight to Aberdeen.
The Netherlands are a bit of a mess, but you know, Belgium is the third best team. We'll play at Pataudry. It's a bit it doesn't have the same appeal. Easter Road and Tynecastle would.
Yes. Oh, Tynecastle is a newly refurbished facility. It looks fantastic. Easter Road as well, you know, with the new main stand.
Looks fantastic.
Frankly, we could play Albania at the Caledonian Stadium as the level of interest I think
you could play at Perth. You're getting 10,000 at that game.
Exactly, at best. So, but I must say, sitting there at Murrayfield, at Hampden.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I like Hampden though. Like,
I don't.
From the main stands, you're not that far from the pitch. Yes, you know, at the sort of end,
you lose your atmosphere pretty quickly.
Then, I think atmospheres generate from a lot of things like, you know, history and stuff like that. And Hampden's fundamentally retains the shape as it always has. And Murrayfield is just like, they're so cramped. The leg room's all tiny,
you are still going to face the same problem of being miles away from the park.
Also, football fans are probably fatter than rugby fans, so we need, you know, the appropriate leg room. And
you stand for more of the game though.
At rugby?
At football.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Safe standing, the new argument.
Well, that's a different argument altogether.
I know, it's a totally different thing.
And I would like to know the costings of actually. Very difficult to say we'll just redevelop Hampden because it's such a shape that how do you do it?
But then, well, that's the problem, is every time they redeveloped Hampden, they never actually like rebuilt it as such. They just built on top of.
They just took the same shape and just went, well, we'll just keep it and we'll put it in seats rather than terracing.
The disaster of the agreement that Queen's Park still own that place.
It's
shocking. They've put, 5 pennies towards that?
Well, it's opposite way round. I mean, the SFA is actually paying rent to Queen's Park.
But then they have paid for none of that Hampden in its current iteration.
Oh, it's all paid for by the SFA and the SPFL.
If not the government and stuff like that. Which is it.
Well,
do you know what? The whole organisation, and I've been furious as well with recent, you know, red card decisions and stuff. And, you know, the whole thing, they don't know what they're doing. They asked for another blooming week for more information.
On what exactly?
Well,
they just want another free dinner.
I know, but then Murrayfield were like, well, what else do we want to...
Just a mess.
Team very much in transitional phase.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Was that a waste of time? Why did they choose Belgium? Why didn't they choose a team of the similar stature to Albania?
The thing is, right, if it was the glamour tie, right, which it absolutely was, 52,000 people would have been the glamour tie. And I still don't know why it didn't attract. Well, I understand people don't want to pay £35 to see a loss. And I'll tell you, I'll expand on this as well, in that, you know, I was £35 for my ticket.
You'd be about £12 for your train ticket.
And it was a bit more than that.
Was it?
Aye. By the time, gosh, the Scotch pies went up, treated our good friend here, Darren, Ghost.
He's away with food poisoning.
Quite possibly. I was like, I'll treat you to a wee Scotch pie above roll. It was his idea after all. Got to the checkout and a few people, you know, on Instagram, you know, SPFL official, things like that, saying, was that like 20 quid? It was £9.50 for 2 Scotch pies, a bovril and a cola. Like, nearly knocked over. All in all, after a bit of dinner the night, it was £100. And now...
Why?
Well, this was what it was. And, you know, for me, it was a good night. Can people do that? No.
Not regularly.
Well, even as a one-off, it was a very expensive... I don't grudge it, but I can see why that would put off...
It puts me off.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They need to look at it. As we say, the product's not good enough to warrant this amount of money, and they are going to be faced in the future with some very serious problems with fan interest, because this is going down quickly.
Aye, the squad's just not there to kind of cover it. They're making too many mistakes.
Behind the scenes, in terms of the league, league decisions, the league itself's fine, but the justicial panels, if I can say that correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's there's a bad feeling between the two parties right now, and it's not pleasant.
No. The biggest cheer at the game was for the women's team, who were there on the big screens and stuff, which was good. Along with the youth academy graduates, the Scotland Super Schools, you know, because they're just picking up their anyway. But it was funny because our old school was mentioned. Because when they mentioned performance schools, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Still a performance school.
Well, there you go. Apparently Jesus. So. And I was like, hey!
It's produced nothing.
Well, Tam Scobie, John. which
Craig Sibbald
was before this. Was he part of that? I don't. Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We produced a bench player for Livingston. I don't think he's a first teamer all the time, is he?
I don't think he has a game anymore.
So by the by, squad's not strong enough. Thought like Suter, I think was out of his depth, you know.
Aye, John McGinn looked a wee bit out of his depth
John
as well.
McGinn had a shocker, like.
It's a work in progress. Few mistakes. Charlie Mulgrew looks over the hill, as he has done for
I hate
years.
Charlie Mulgrew. I've hated Charlie Mulgrew for years.
Aye.
Ever since he did Aberdeen over, so aye. It's not a team that gets anyone excited. It's not a team that's going to bring anyone out. So.
Nah, there we go.
Aye. Anyway.
Roll on Albania.
Well, that brings us on to possibly our only route for qualifying. This UEFA Nations League, which kicked off last week.
Yes.
With Azerbaijan and... Who were they playing?
I don't know. They had...
Luxembourg?
They had the Faroes in their group.
It was brutal.
Oh, who else was in that group?
On television, it was Azerbaijan in this massive Olympic stadium, which they built for some European games they had.
Eurovision, probably.
Yeah, something like that. Good grief. And it was Luxembourg, I think, against Andorra or Moldova, was it?
Yeah, Andorra, Moldova.
We play Albania and Israel.
Wow.
You know, is it a case of the rich staying richer with the big clubs playing each other?
I mean, yeah, you can read my article on the Sofamanager.com website.
Hey!
The Nations League for Dummies. It took me forever to work it out.
We've got their core audience there.
It took ages to fathom what the hell was going on. It's a bit daft, let's be honest. This is a protectionist kind of...
You think that's what the intention behind this is?
A wee bit. This is they've seen the shock of Italy not making it to
Netherlands
the World
a few times as well.
Netherlands are in a bit of a bad state. There's scope that, maybe another big nation will fall off.
Mm-hmm.
This is a contingency plan. So
Yeah.
if you win your group in your league in Group A,
playoff.
you are guaranteed a playoffs place, as well as going through the actual European qualifiers.
Well, right, okay. So, are these playoffs going to be played after the qualifiers are finished?
You go through the Nations League. It finishes, I think it's in February, right?
For the summer tournament?
It'll be like February 2019, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the actual European qualifiers for Euro 2020 runs throughout sort of most of 2019 into 2020.
Right, okay.
I think. And then after that, there's playoffs off the qualifiers based on your positioning in the Nations League.
So the way this was described to me by you, so obviously, there are 4 different...
There's 4 leagues, right? A, B, C and D, of which there are 4 groups.
Right, okay, right.
Right, A, B, C, we'll call 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Now, so the winner of each group in A would go into a playoff, all being well and good.
They go into a playoff to become the League European Nation
champion of Group A.
No, you are the league winner at that stage, right? So it's a mini tournament.
Yes. And
I've named it as you're the proxy European champion, because you're not actually the European champion until 2020 when you win the European Championships, right? This is just bizarre.
Right, okay, so what would happen is all the winners of Group A, assuming that they hadn't qualified already,
so you're each
would go into a playoff against each other. The winner of that would get the qualifying spot.
No. There's no qualification spot that comes out of this, I don't believe.
I thought there was.
Is there?
Yeah. I thought that was the whole point of this, is there's 4 qualifying spots.
Nah, it's all playoff spots.
Oh, right.
It's all playoff spots.
Oh.
Right, so at the end of it all, you'll have the 4 winners of Group League 1, right? The 4 winners of Group League B, C and D, right? And then there'll be a randomised draw. So you'll have it's a table of League A, B, C and D, right? So A will play D in a one leg.
Yes.
And then B and C will play each other in a one leg. That'll be based on the top seeding.
Right, okay. So you win that and then you get a playoff spot.
This is for the qualification at the Euro 2020, right?
So there's no automatic
places that come out of the Nations League. None at all. It's just preferential treatment when it comes to... Because when it comes to the actual qualifiers for Euro 2020 in 2019, right? So there'll be...
Let's not get too bogged down in this, by the way, because there's already loads of videos out there explaining this in like a minute and a half.
There's 10 groups, 5 groups with 5 teams, 5 groups with 6 teams. So the top 2 in each group goes through into the Euro 2020s, which takes 20 of the 24 teams. And then the remaining 4 spots comes out of these qualifiers, or the playoffs. And the playoffs are based on the Nations League and how your performance is in that. So if you're like Spain and you don't get out, you win your sort of league or group in the Nations League.
And then you win that.
But you don't get through your qualifying group for Euro 2020, you're still given the kind of contingency of the playoff thing.
As long as you've won your Group A tournament?
Yes.
Okay. So the winners of Group A, B, C and D...
In League A.
Also, no.
In any group.
Yes.
In any league. Oh, God.
So it's only the winners. It's not to do with the numbers, it's to do with the winners in the lettered groups, correct? Of the whole...
Right, so no, it's like leagues A, B, C and D, and then their groups 1, 2, 3 and 4 within each.
Yeah, but then they all 4 go into a playoff.
Eventually, yes. But that is all dependent on who actually...
No, well let's... Right, okay, so that's where it gets confusing.
Read the article. The article makes more sense than me.
Well, the it only really gets confusing when people have qualified and stuff like that. For me, this tournament's going to be what, running into 3 years, but the sounds of things.
I'll probably run about 3 years before anyone gets a rough idea of what it's all
has
about.
The mental capacity, and let's face it, right?
You'll get a better understanding of it once you've had a full season of it and you've seen how it worked.
The last thing,
no one cares unless you're in the top league. You don't care. You really don't.
Well, for the likes of Scotland, I see this as our only feasible way of getting anything.
It's a closer opportunity to getting into the Euros than what it would be doing it through normal qualification.
So the next thing as well, and the point that you made on the article, which I thought was interesting, was talking about the point of you would get to see world-class players being relegated out of like League A into League B.
How good's that though? To be fair, that is brilliant, because I think if you take England's group, right, so it's England, Spain and Croatia.
Sounds about right.
Out of the 3, one of them will be relegated into League B. Right? So you're either going to see, like...
Well, wait, we're in C, aren't we?
We're in C.
So if we got promoted...
England could be relegated and we could be promoted and we would meet them in League B. That'd be class.
That would be brilliant. We would get our home nations game back again.
Because Wales and Wales and Ireland are in League B, I think.
Oh, that's home nations.
So you could have a home nations.
Although I don't think the Republic of Ireland will be wanting to play Wales anytime soon again.
Well, nah.
After a 4-1 drubbing.
Bit of bad blood as well after this Denmark nonsense.
Do you know what, right?
I would love to have seen their futsal team.
Yes! Well, that's the thing. We must say that if you haven't heard, I think most of the people will heard.
Yeah, it was all over TalkSport.
There was a union dispute, and it looked like all of Denmark's professional players were not going to play for the international team. And they did, didn't they? Did they not play against Serbia or Slovakia?
They're futsal / teachers and...
Amateurs.
Aye, they all showed up in the day with their boots.
How do you pick the best amateur? I would love to see like the best junior team Scotland could put out.
Yeah, I mean,
like, and how would we scout that? How would we know? Like,
just select 11 from Peebles Rovers, Dunny Pace Juniors, Bonish United,
but then, like,
Lithgow Rose.
How brilliant is that? That you could turn it. And I think I'd heard as well. My brother was telling me that some of them were like YouTubers and stuff.
Aye.
Like that. I was like, that is brilliant, and I haven't got round to the Danish content.
Like CJ Novo who built for the Scotland team.
I'm breaking his nose yet again. Could you imagine though?
That'd be funny as anything.
Like, I know we're not talented enough footballers, sadly, to.
No, I can't run the length myself, but
I could put a word in for a goalkeeper. I've been moving and shaking a bit recently, but I thought that was absolutely sensational. And to be honest, right, the scope for like an amateur World Cup, like proper working men, you know, at the coalface representing their nation. For the one idea I've always had is to have like a 5-a-side football festival in the same way that a music festival is, like Wimbledon but with camping. And then you're like, it would never work because there would be like Scotland versus England, there would be people drinking and it would just be carnage.
Yeah. And
you don't like the World Cup atmosphere, so
nah.
But they did.
Unless it was sponsored by a drinks company, that's a different story.
If anyone's got any sponsorship ideas,
M&M's.
Don't say it, John, unless we're paid. All right, okay. We're totally available to any offers.
Microsoft.
You've already got it. There's no
5 minutes.
I'm needing more money for audio equipment anyway. So, it would have been sensational, but didn't quite pan out for the Great Danes. Anyway, hopefully this all kind of sorts itself out. It's better than friendlies ish. Is it? Actually, that's my question to you. Is it better than friendlies?
It is. But you still reluctantly, yeah. You are going to. For Scotland, it's probably not so bad because you are going to play teams that are your level for a large part of it.
Well, I think, like your main point is this is only the way it starts out. Because it is going to get interesting when the big teams come down into B, some of the bigger teams fall down, and everyone kind of get
the good thing about it is you can track the golden generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in a couple of years' time, if Belgium start to fall off, they're not always going to be classed as, well, you're... it's maybe just a bit of a bad time. They can't find the centre-back. Like what Scotland's doing just now. It's a rank-rotten team. That's why we're in League C. We could end up in League D. It's that potential.
But
that'd be brilliant because we win something, hopefully.
But at the same rate, if your national team starts to progress, you can actually see it in the league table.
That's true.
Which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But if you're Brazil, if you're Argentina, if you're the US, trying to find a friendly now with a European team is going to be very difficult.
That is true. But the same margin it stops us going to Mexico and Peru.
Yes.
So...
Which isn't so bad, to be honest.
We're playing Belgium, to boost our competence for Albania. Confidence and competence, for that matter. So.
How not to defend.
Sadly. So, that's what you get. Actually, do you know what? Even folk like Tierney and Robertson and that, I didn't think was that great. Robertson's not a captain, by the way. That was a bad idea. Anyway, onwards. So that's the poor man's way of qualifying for a European competition.
Right, there we go.
To the poor man's Champions League.
The Uber Diddy Cup.
The Uber Diddy Cup, as John's called it before.
Now be known.
Iron Brew Challenge Cup returned on this international break.
Whoosh.
For
an international tournament as well.
Did they not cancel some National League game down south though because of two Caribbean internationals or something like that had to leave? So even now the conference in England is having to call off games. But speaking of that, we had some of their teams in.
Indeed.
One fan, I think, for Sutton United travelled on 900.
No, it was only just the one.
No, it wasn't just the one, but it was the one that was reported on BBC. Who was very excited about his fried breakfast. They beat Airdrie 1-0, so they go through. Other English team, Boreham Wood, played at home in quite a nice wee stadium actually.
So, Boreham Wood.
Oh, Boreham Wood, you say?
Just outside of London.
Is it? Oh, so you could be going along there.
I could be. Nah, I don't want to be scouting the van at Amateur Conference Leagues.
You've taken my joke. Oh, do you get a free van with it though? Wouldn't you?
Pass.
New stadium they've got down there. I think 6 figures worth of investment. So
it's a lot of money, but they put a lot of money into that lower league now. It's odd. Grassroots football.
There's that. Have you ever watched HITC Sevens?
Nah, it's just letters and numbers.
But it's a YouTube channel which just goes through the top 7 of football, and it goes through the top 7 best paid players, and it's full Pennant and there's a team in Essex I know that is stupidly well funded at a non-league level.
I mean, even is it Salford City?
Aye.
Yeah, an absolute fortune. Is it Forest Green? The vegan club. Don't hear about that?
No, I don't know about that.
Forest Green Rovers are an entirely vegan, recyclable piece of nonsense.
Gosh, that's a really bad version of St. Pauli.
Yes. It's to the left and then paint yourself green.
It's like a hippie football club. That's really weird.
It's the boat that rocked, sank off boat.
I love that film. Cracking film. I did not know about those. That's a documentary in that, John. Non-league teams by a Scottish perspective.
All the kind of pre-match, post-match meals are all vegan. Pretty horrendous, yeah. Imagine Chris Boyd going down there.
Have you heard, by the way,
vegan pie? Have
you heard the mattress advert he did when he was in America?
Yes.
It is sensational. The first time I heard it was on Off the Ball the weekend. Was it in Portland at the time?
It was at Portland Timbers. So
funny. Well, I gave him the taste of presenting before. I highly recommend that if you haven't seen it.
I think it's on YouTube.
Must be. But Dunfermline taking 500 fans down to Boreham Woods. It's a pretty good haul.
It's pretty good going.
Although it pays us to say it, of course.
That's what it is. That's the kind of thing for Scottish teams though. There is a bit of an interest to go to, if it was Bray Wanderers in Dublin or
not Sligo though.
Well, Sligo's a bit of a push. If it's a kind of quite a good area, it'd be quite nice. I've tried to get, even if it was a team just outside Blackpool, I admit folk could go down there for a holidays.
So proximity might have helped a bit, you think?
Proximity would help. Like I say, if you were Gateshead, and you could play like Bury Rangers, have a local derby.
You could.
That'd be fantastic.
So, because if you think about it, it's not called the Johnson's Pate Trophy anymore, is it?
Oh God, I can't remember what it's called now.
It was LDV Vans. It was Johnson's Paint.
I can only remember it being Johnson's Paint Trophy.
The LDV Vans before.
It's not the Chickatrade.
Oh, it could be. That sounds like Chickatrade Trophy. So their equivalent of the Iron Brew.
The Evo Stick. No, that was the conference before quite a while ago.
The Evo Stick?
The Evo Stick conference.
Oh, that sounds like a device I don't want to own.
Was that not an adhesive?
I don't know.
That's something with indoor drill or something.
Whatever you do in your spare time, it's totally up to you. But don't they regionalise things?
It's nothing south.
I know, but like, is that the solution to stop, like Fort Martin going to play?
You just get rid of the Colts. That's all you need.
That's the target. I mean, I don't know what the purpose of that. Like, are they just trying to hang on to the coattails of the Premiership teams at that point?
Maybe. It's one of these things. I mean, yeah. I have a couple of conspiracy theories.
Oh, do you?
A couple of conspiracy theories.
Fire away, we've got plenty of time.
All about the Ivory Cup. Two of them. The first one's about Colt teams.
Okay.
The Colt teams are there just so they can go. The men under 23 has got to the quarterfinals, and you're thinking, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So what? I bet they could do it in League 2 over a season, and maybe we'll get Rangers teams, Celtic teams, Aberdeen.
Can they do it on a Stoke or a cold Monday night? Aye.
Can they do it away to Peterhead or Arbroath when it's blowing a gale?
Exactly.
That kind of.
Who's she? Gil.
Gil Platt.
But I think the only time we've really advocated for Colt teams, it's been Rangers and Celtic. And I think there would be a case if they were much, much better than the other Colt teams, but
I mean, Rangers under 20s got beat off the worst Falkirk team in living memory.
That's not good for the Rangers youth, by the way.
I can't remember who Celtic got beat off. Was it Annan? I think
Aberdeen got
comprehensive. I
think Aberdeen got punted out by Arbroath.
Mm-hmm.
But St Mirren and Hamilton played each other for the last remaining.
It's just ridiculous.
Under 23's place. I'm sure there was loads at that game.
Oh, aye.
I think that, the argument as well, with the Challenge Cup in terms of these Diddy teams and stuff in the Uber Diddy Cup, as you presented it, was they were talking on Sports Sounds after the games on Saturday, and Richard Gordon was making the point that some fans are thinking this is the only trophy they might have a chance of actually winning. It's a serious competition.
Aye.
And introducing all these teams kind of dilutes your chances and just causes mayhem, frankly.
It causes a little bit of embarrassment, for sure. I think I'm right in saying it's only really been Steny in the last good period.
Mm-hmm.
I've maybe got to the final or even won it. The rest has always been your Falkirks, your St Mirren.
Like the First Division Championship sides.
Yeah, typical First Division Championship teams are always going to be winning it. I think Annan got to the semi-finals. They did because Falkirk beat them. The last time Falkirk won it, which was against Hamilton in the final.
What was that?
Crikey. Darren Dodd scored the winner.
Well, that's not too long ago then.
2012, 13 maybe.
Okay.
God almighty.
The last trophy
that was 5 years ago.
That's the thing, right? See,
can it be 5 years ago?
After working, because after being at the Falkirk game,
it was the Farad season.
Well, after being at the Falkirk game on Saturday, on my way out the door, which was hectic because there was security everywhere, we'll get to that later. I stopped, said to the person I worked with for a moment, said, look, and it was the pictures of Farid scoring in the cup final and Sibbald scoring and Peter Grant. It's like, just pause for a moment and remember, because it could be a long time before we're back. And I swear, actually, I'm on a losing streak of 10 professional games without seeing a team win.
Nice.
Between
that's a good start.
Scotland getting pumped, Falkirk getting pumped, Stennismuir got beat when we went to see them. When we went to Hampden for the semi-final, Aberdeen got beat.
That was disappointing as well.
So I can't remember the last time I watched my team win in the flesh. Anyway, so the international teams in the Challenge Cup. No won it yet, but when they do,
I'll be a laugh.
We've always said we just have to to shut down.
The last person just turn off the lights and close the door. Yeah.
Speaking of the other international teams, Falkirk were punted out by Connah's Key Nomad.
That will be the worst game I've ever seen.
Well, Ray McKinnon, who took over in the week. I sent, obviously my partnership, with the main announcer, I picked the playlist. So I sent him a wee message in the middle of the week, do you think I'd get away with this? And it was Worried About Ray by the Hoosiers.
Good tune.
I was told, no, that's not the tone we want to say. I'm only messing. No! I think I could have played that.
No one would have noticed anyway. So.
Well, the thing I played when they walked out the tunnel was that Muse song. Like, it's a new dawn, it's a new day. And you're going, yes, that's got the okay, no.
It's the flattest performance going.
So, Falkirk were beaten 1-0 by a team with apparently 5 times smaller the budget they claimed on Twitter, although I wouldn't believe anything coming out of their social media.
No.
And I believe they are actually a full-time team-ish.
They're playing the Champions League.
No, exactly.
I know that's nothing to shout about.
Well, they were playing the Europa League qualifiers until a few weeks ago, which is, it's something. But considering Queen's Park beat the team that were above them in the Welsh League,
yes,
sends major alarm away from home. Congratulations to Queen's Park, by the way. It's a fantastic victory. They're the scenes for the 13 fans that made the journey.
Great.
That is the only way that Bournemouth could have played at Hampden, by the way.
Aye, as if Queen's Park had played them.
Their chairman thought the final might have been played at Hampden. But that was the only way they would have played at Hampden. So, not good for Falkirk that they're not able to put in the performance of a League 2 side.
Falkirk are dreadful. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
They kept their shape, John. Kept their shape.
And so what? I kept my shape back. I go to the gym and then equal it out by eating the fish supper. I keep my shape.
There you go.
But it looks like so does half the Falkirk team as well.
Oh, I know. The fun thing about that game, though, English referee.
Oh, he was murder.
I thought he was good. I couldn't
You are
complain.
having 2 red cards for Connor Quay. Absolutely no doubt.
Right, hold on.
Right, the boy punched Muirhead in the face.
Oh, but that was before Muirhead tried to overhead kick him on the way down.
He punched him in the face.
He tried to overhead kick him on the way down.
He made contact.
He tried to. If you watch,
still a red card.
Right, hold on.
All right, both are off then. Both are off.
This is a video. Very much video. If you watch him, he sticks his knee and tries to bring his foot back.
Right. He goes like,
I know. But that's what they were. That's the most visual thing we've ever done on this podcast. So tune into the YouTube, by the way. Sorry for all our audio listeners. I thought the referee was fair. There was a few times I think he could have booked a few more Connors players. They were a rough team.
They are hatchetmen. I was reading the Dumbarton sort of page on Pine Bovril, and it was just the same kind of thing. They are just an absolute bomb scare.
Well, I mean, Fruxilias, I think, punted in a wonder goal against them last season. And we brought him on late on to try and do the same thing. I hit the most mince free kick I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely pitiful, especially if you watch it. And was it Petrovakis?
Petrovic, yes.
It was about 8 yards in space, and all he had to do was slide past it into him, and it was a goal. A bit inventiveness.
I mean, the problem is I've usually been able, as I said to you the weekend, distance myself from Falkirk, but I'm now angry at what I'm watching.
It's poor, really poor.
And the thing I said to you as well is they're wasting my time. Thank the Lord they're not wasting my money, because I daren't to think, if I was a season ticket holder, I'd be furious, absolutely furious.
It's painful, believe me, but that's just where they are, and it's. I know like people are wanting to try and point the finger, and
particularly on the Twitter page.
Yes, but that gains some
look
traction.
That up. Bear in mind, I work with Falkirk, and this guy over here is sitting. He's trying to get the chairman fired, the chief executive.
I'm making,
and I'm having to justify these things to the chairman, the chief executive.
You just got to go.
This is the emotional investment guy that tried to ambush you at that season ticket holders meeting a year ago.
This is the guy who absolutely annihilated your PowerPoint presentation, Craig.
Which is sat next to you on a plane weeks earlier. Oh, anyway. Don't come after us, Martin. Our chairwoman's an international lawyer, so try it.
And we don't have any money. Wholeheartedly spent it all on nonsense.
I took out a Wonga loan when I was at it as well. But yeah, Connors were brutal.
Yeah,
but they were very much playing the mind games. The folk on the bench were giving it the wind up. The boys coming off were giving it the wind up.
The boys in the I was kind of sitting at the south stand corner in the main stand, and the abuse that the guys getting warmed up were getting, it was funny as anything. But
they were funny though, because A, they walked out the wrong side of the tunnel, and B, they warmed up next to the Falkirk players on the wrong side. So it was
they weren't really used to it.
No, but they turned up like men.
They turned up and they weren't great, but they had a bit of an attitude about them.
But once they got
Falkirk aren't great and they don't have an attitude. It's like you're doomed.
Right, the only threat for Falkirk was the wasps in the stand that were stinging folk.
Aye, where are they coming from, by the way?
I don't know. I swear there's a... Because I swear I saw 3 people. One guy was just sitting with his hand like that and had to smash down the stairs. He killed 3 wasps. Like, because he was that angry.
There is an infestation. And last week, I went to see women's football, funnily enough. Boroughmuir Thistle against Falkirk. The stadium was an absolute mess. They hadn't bothered cleaning it up.
Really?
I was assuming it was the Shire, because Falkirk were away to county.
Oh, that's all in the playing squad there, John.
I mean, they never cleaned it. It was full of old pie dishes, juice lying everywhere. It was absolutely disgusting.
I told you about the time I did that amateur cup final there once, and jokingly said to the security guys, "Oh, you need a hand cleaning up?" Ha ha ha. They're like, "Yes." And I was like, "Oh." And when I was cleaning that up, it's like half full cans of Bovril and stuff that you're trying. And that day it was like cider and Buckfast and stuff like that as well, which you weren't allowed in. But
it was genuinely staggering. I'm thinking I clearly hadn't been cleaned since the game before.
Yeah,
I know it's not a Falkirk issue as a club. It's the stadium to get that organised.
Yeah.
But that is just the epitome of how bad the organisation as a whole is. They can't even clean a flaming stadium after a game.
No,
I mean, come on. Like,
so that was disappointing. I don't think there's much else to say about it. Really, there's not much. Everyone was bad.
I've checked my heart rate on.
Quite right. Elsewhere, Airdrie got beaten by. Oh, do you know how many fans from Connors came?
There wasn't many. All I could hear was the boys that were in hospitality.
Yes,
13.
2.
Really?
Officially 2. And they got to go up to the director's box and have a pint with the...
Well, fair enough, I suppose.
I think there was more on the main stand, but they only officially counted 2. Elsewhere, Sutton United beat Airdrie. We saw Airdrie, they looked quite good the other week, so not a huge surprise there, I don't think.
I think Sutton were the better of the 2 between them and Boreham, so...
Elsewhere, I think an upset at Partick, wasn't there?
Yes, East Fife. I think it was at East Fife though.
Right, okay. And Partick probably not that fussed about it.
Yeah, I mean, but in Alloa beating United on penalties.
Yeah.
At Tannadice, I think.
The rumour I heard was that it was very much a second string team from Dundee United.
They have enough players to be a second string.
Well, they're funny. We've almost forgotten about them now. Queen of the South getting a good win. What, 4-2?
Well, they were 4-0 up. We had about 20 minutes to go, maybe.
Plus 2 goals.
And no, it was 4-3.
Who would they play?
Was it Crusaders?
Oh, right, okay.
Because it was 4-3 in the end.
Stephen Dobby getting just a brace this week, unfortunately.
No,
just the 2.
So that takes them to about 20 for September.
It's insane.
Ridiculous.
Aye. So coverage of it is awful. Like BBC Scotland
don't care.
Put a wee summary at it, But aye, going forward, I've spoken to you about the regionalising thing, but
it is what it is. It was never a big tournament anyway.
And then, it was being very much advertised on the BBC website this week, and the only reason they blooming took notice of it because this is where the English teams came in, which is narks me off because there's a lot of good stuff on about BBC Wales and Northern Ireland and things like that. But about it being that sort of second tier Champions League for like Championship teams, Division 1 teams. I think they used to have something with. It was like the Anglo-Italian Cup with English Championship sides and Italian Serie B sides. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But again, budget and things these days, it's not really applicable, is it?
It doesn't really work. And you don't have that. I would assume back at that time it would have been an English dominant kind of squad. We play an Italian dominant squad,
probably,
and that is a like kind of to see what you kind of second tier England national team would look like versus a second tier Italian team.
Yeah.
Now, even if you just look at Falkirk, the different kind of nationalities in that team, I think the Connasquay team were mostly Welsh, but there'll be a few English mixed in.
Rugby rejects at some point, I think.
Too big for the coal mine,
most likely. But It's really hard to start a new tournament these days, I think.
It's poor, and it's even more difficult to regenerate a trophy that's just failing.
Yeah, they're struggling with cup competitions, like even the FA Cup and things like that.
It doesn't get the attention anymore.
Sadly not. But well, I think that's about us come round to our time.
Absolutely.
Can you spot the technical difficulties that occurred this week? With the smoothest transition you've ever seen. Or can you hear the technical... Aye, if you hear the technical difficulties, points to you for doing that. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. From myself, Paul.
All the best, guys.
And tune into all our social media channels. Lots of exciting things. I've got some FIFA predictions going up next week. And again, we've got John's article still going up on the regenerated...
Before we go, though.
Yes?
Have you seen the PES thing you can do?
Oh...
This is all like...
You want to go for it?
Right. Before we leave, it's quite funny. Just when you mentioned FIFA, you can customise your banners on PES in the stands.
Oh, really? Like the fan ones?
Go on Twitter and have a look at some of the Rangers ones. Absolutely brilliant.
Are they anti-Rangers ones? Or?
No, they're very much pushing the boundaries.
Right. Well, there you go.
It's brilliant.
A heartful and wholesome recommendation.
Enjoy your Monday evening having a look at that.
There you go. So I'm sure link to us out on social media. Search for Sofamanager, all one word. And have a good evening, a good afternoon, and a good morning. Bye bye.